The jury show for semifinal 1 is about to take place. We are outside of Tel Aviv Expo. 17 countries will sing, but only 10 of our darlings can make it through tomorrow night during the semifinal. Should we talk about it? Let's do this! It's not certain for the countries, but what is certain is that you can check out your family's DNA by visiting MyHeritage. In any case, we're going to go around, we're going to try to be pithy, we're going to discuss the countries we think are going through. Who do we think will qualify for the grand final? Ahead of this, Chris kindly organized a spreadsheet.
Thank you, Chris.
Wow. A lot of work, boo.
A little bit.
Toda, as the Israelis say.
There were 5 countries we all agree are going through. Those countries are Cyprus, Czech Republic, Australia, Iceland, and Greece. Let's quickly go through these and just have a word or two each. First, Cyprus.
Really good opener. We know Tamta's great vocally. I think it's an obvious qualifier.
Visually arresting, very radio friendly. This is a deadlock. She looks amazing.
Modern song, cowboy hats, glittery, crotch look, phenomenal.
Love the song and love the sexy saran wrap Pocahontas look.
Yeah. Next definite qualifier, Czech Republic, Lake Malawi.
Great staging, love the use of the Instagram boxes, really good at connecting to the camera, and it's a catchy song.
An indie band that has gone professional. This feels expensive, but it still has an independent spirit, a soul. Albert is so charismatic, making love to that camera.
Infectious, fun, great vocal, great band, great energy. Love them.
Just so much fun. They connect with each other and they connect with the audience.
Next up, Australia, Kate Miller-Heidke.
Probably one of the best stagings we've got this year. Such good use of the graphics. Kate's control over her voice when she's doing all those moves is amazing.
Lots of people say they've never done this at Eurovision before. We're the first to do this at Eurovision. Well, this is actually a first. I ain't never seen no lady singing on a pogo stick, okay? I have never seen it. They're doing it visually amazing. You really think she's in outer space. This ain't a circus, it's Cirque du Soleil.
Kate is great. That's all I have to say.
I'm with Angus. It's just absolutely, positively fantastic.
Next definite lock, according to us, is Iceland, Hatari.
They're divisive, but some people will love them, even if some people hate them, and it's more important at Eurovision to have a lot of people who love you, or at least will vote for you, and they're definitely going to get votes.
Whips and chains, I'm feeling gains. This is moving up. Shout out to Romania, hello! We have some fans, not for us, but for Esther Peony in the audience. In any case, chains, whips, I'm loving this. It's very arresting, it's very different, it's catching, it's striking. It's the only act that has a major media story, actually. The Economist is talking about them, everyone's talking about them, and that swell of media attention will heighten in the days ahead of the grand final because I think they will be there.
A kinky band from Iceland, they are unforgettable, and you can't say that about many of this year's acts.
They're a little bit scary, but the song is very catchy, and I think the crowds are going to love them.
And the final song we all agree on, Better Love from Greece.
Katarine's vocals are really great. Yes, okay, maybe the staging hasn't been quite what some people expected, but I think it all really works. They've pulled everything together. Lighting's good, staging. Yeah, I think honestly, this is in contention to win the semi-finals still.
Absolutely. Nothing looks like this, nothing sounds like this, and nothing feels like this, okay? We say it all the time, but she is slaying musically, visually, and emotionally, okay? She's feeling the better love. I love the giant egg. The egg will hatch, and in that will be a semi-final winner, or rather, a chickling with the potential to win the semi-final.
The spirit of Aphrodite, the spirit of Apollo, the gods of Olympus are here, they are within her, and she is going to triumph on Tuesday night.
I don't know about a chickling, but definitely a lotus flower. Like Australia, I just really love how relatable the message of the song is. Katarine has great vocals, and I think that everyone who sees this for the first time is going to have a wow and awe moment with the staging.
Well, from wow and awe, we go to the less clear. Actually, no. There are two countries we agree are most likely not going to the semifinal. The first is Montenegro, D-Moll. That is D minor. And let's just say it ain't major.
From falling from heaven to sinking to hell almost. I mean, their vocals are good, they're all likable, but this song is just so old school. The staging has not helped it. It still feels a little bit unpolished. There's no way that this is getting support enough from across the continent to get any votes enough to make it to the final.
They're very likable, very sweet, some of the best harmonies in the contest, outstanding singers. It's just that they're having to sing a song that is beneath them, it's dated, it's just not good enough to go to the final.
I think as individual performers, they have a really bright future, but as a group, it just does not work on the song, on the visuals, on the vocals all put together. There's no way this is going through from the semi-final.
I can't get this song out of my head. It's very catchy and I like the song, but there are also things about the staging that I just can't get out of my head. The go team moment that I really just didn't like, that weird falling off the stage, and then I still haven't recovered from watching all of them try to outshine the other during the first rehearsal.
Falling, I'm in heaven, falling, I'm in heaven, falling into your arms, and out of the semifinal. All right. Oh my God, you just hit your head. And the other act, now this really pains me. So this is not, I would like to see this next, it's Finland. Okay,
Yeah.
Darude and Sebastian Rehman, I want to see this in the final. I really do, but I just think the camera angles haven't always been working. At times it's looked great, but I've not seen an entire run through that's kind of been as good as they are. Yeah, it's on the fence for me, and sadly, after seeing the rehearsals, and this is not down to the performers or the composition, because I really like the singers, I really like the song, I just don't think that the staging around this is strong enough compared to what we've seen from other countries.
Yeah, you look at what Kino have done in semi-final 2, where they have 3 performers, but you can't tell that they're all spaced apart at parts of the song. This just feels like they're all very separate entities. They have made big strides, and I would also like to see it qualify in a way. I just think that there are many more countries that have just got ahead of them really in the stakes. So it's a shame if they don't qualify, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, it's hard because it feels like the stars have never quite aligned for Finland, as with some countries in wrestling we've seen it. The components are all there, they just have not been used in the best way. Also, they're on third, which has a really poor track record for qualification from the semi. And just, yeah. However, Darude's name is behind them, so there may still be some hope. But I think, in what is a surprisingly competitive field for this semi-final, which we hadn't anticipated, I couldn't put them through, sadly.
It's a nice song. Sebastian's really cute.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand out amongst all of the others.
All right, we move on. There are a few songs remaining. Unlock, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 left to discuss. The first up is Poland. Who thinks Poland is going through? Raise your hand.
Me.
Oh, the Addams family! Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Listen, I know the Polish diaspora does not always push its act all the way through. We saw that last year with Grame and Lucas, Mayer, honey.
Yeah.
But I do think this is going to motivate the Polish diaspora to vote. It's very arresting visually. The women look great, they sound great, and they're a big deal at home, which would suggest the Polish diaspora abroad is also familiar with them. That recognition, the fact that they're like multi-platinum artists at home, I think that's going to motivate that diaspora to get out and vote. I also think jurors will respect this. It's not a pop song, a typical pop song, but it stands out. It pops.
I love their lipstick, I love their garb, and I really like the song.
Quickly, why don't you think it's going through?
It is my number 11, and I was trying to find ways almost to put it in, but in the end, I just couldn't get it just in.
It's not my number 11. I think after the first 2 minutes, this really runs out of steam. It's just not the most kinetic performance. And yeah, I struggle to see how votable this is going to be outside of Eastern Europe. It doesn't feel very kind of accessible to me. It's very traditional, and I just don't know if that's going to motivate people at home or professional juries here in Israel to vote for it.
All right, next up, Slovenia. Who thinks it's going through? Yes, I am on the right side of this one. Look, we've said it all before. This is atmospheric. It stands out in the recap. They've got great chemistry that you cannot make up. You have to feel this, live this, see this, and they're doing all of that. I think it looks amazing. Yes, Kate Miller-Heidke has a better starscape, but this starscape is still very impactful. The camera angles have come together. They were really confident today during the run-through ahead of the jury show, so I think it's going through.
They've had tech issues, but they worked through it each and every time, more or less, and you couldn't even really tell, unlike with some acts. I think that it's so beautiful. I will be devastated if this doesn't make it through.
I think with Slovenia, either you think it's really atmospheric and appealing because of the fact they don't engage with cameras, or you find it unatmospheric and inaccessible because they don't look at the cameras, and I fall into the latter camp. I've really struggled to engage with this since national final season. Rehearsals has not changed that for me. If anything, I think the starscape and dark lighting makes it more inaccessible than it was at the national final.
Such a sweet song, such a sweet couple. This was my 11th, and I certainly won't be disappointed if they make it through.
All right, the next country up is Hungary. Who thinks it's going through? All right, Chris.
I think that the second rehearsal, much like we saw in Kiev, the leaps and bounds Yossi put on in that really made me think that this is going through. It's really well sung, beautifully lit, great camera angles. It's not as strong as a Mikhail Schulter in terms of the same message maybe, but I think that it's relatable and it gets the message across.
I think the Tree of Life shot is beautiful from above. A lot of people are saying, Jamala, this is an entirely different kind of tree from an entirely different forest. It's beautiful, it's atmospheric, he sounds amazing. And I don't see how juries are not going to vote for this in their droves. I think it's a really beautiful moment.
And Suzanne, why don't you think it's going through?
This is another one that I just don't really feel stands out amongst the others. I love the message. I think the staging greatly improved from first rehearsals. Of all of the songs to select from, I don't think it's going to be one of the ones.
I think it could definitely go through. Certainly Hungary has never failed not to go through. So, or that was
Since they returned.
Yes, that was some kind of double negative action. I don't know what I just said. I think they have a great record is what I'm trying to say, but this doesn't stand out for me in the recap either. Visually, it is much improved. I smell some meat. Do y'all smell that?
Yeah, it's
God, that's making me so hungry. I need to eat, boom. Next up, Belarus, Zena. Who thinks she is going through? Okay, wow. We're gonna like it. Are you gonna like it?
Let me in your heart.
He is gonna like it. Listen, this is a banging track, and she is selling it. The girl next door, Sweet 16, so much youth, vigor, vim, power, passion. You just want to be her. She is the girl next door who you want to be, but she's too cool, and you cannot be her, okay? Except Zena's actually likable and approachable. I think it's great. I think the staging, they're throwing a lot at it. It's very busy and frenetic, and that's fine. I think it absolutely works with this kind of urban dance song.
Listen, one of the biggest demographics at Eurovision is teenage girls at home. Xena is a teenage girl.
Okay.
I think this is going to appeal to people right across the continent in a way that songs from Belarus don't always. The staging is busy, but she's a cool, versatile kind of gal.
She's
Why
got
can't
things to
she
do.
Have it? She can have a bird, she can have pyro, she can have massive pink makeup and look fabulous.
And cats.
And backing dancers.
I think this is going through. I really do.
Now, Suzanne, why don't you think it's going through?
She does think it's going through.
How did you raise your hand, boo?
I'm the odd one out.
Oh, you raised your hand?
She forgot to raise her
I was
hand.
even looking at my list. And it's on my list to go through.
Okay, so please. Is she gonna like it? She don't know.
Do not mince
Confused.
your words.
No, Zena is fun, she's groovy, she's articulate, she's bright. She just draws people in. She's got this amazing energy, and the staging is super busy, but it's also fun. She's got butterflies, she's got cats. She's got it going on.
I think it's because it's so busy, that's why I think it won't go through. I think that jurors might not be able to connect, and I think that it is a struggle at times to connect with Zena just full stop in the song, because I'm always looking at something else, and she's kind of almost lost in that. I really like the song, I really like Zena, I just think that maybe there are 2 or 3 things too much.
All right, the next country up is Serbia. This is Nemanja Bozovic. Kruna. Will the Kruna, or rather will the Queen, take her Kruna to the final? Yes. Suzanne? Yes or no? Serbia?
boxer?
No, definitely
Serbia
no.
is not on my list.
All right. Listen, this song, it's not my kind of music. I've never liked it, but I love her staging. And I think she sells it very well. This is some of the best staging we've got in the semifinal. It's just really memorable, really striking. She is the ice queen with a voice that melts hearts. Power, power, power.
Yeah, really, really good vocals. I really like what they've made work with the staging. I still don't think it's the best Balkan ballad we've ever had at Eurovision, but this year I think it is one of the strongest as an entire package.
Listen, Navina Bozovic uses Whirlpool and it is super effective on stage. This is a fantastic moment from Serbia. Really beautiful. I just think it's possibly the best special effects we have in the first semi-final. There's no way she's not going through.
I'm just horrified that I'm the one not to use a Pokemon reference in a video.
I have been working on that one for a while.
Nevada has great vocals. The staging was great. I love the ice effect, but there are a lot of very strong songs, and I just don't feel that this one's going through.
Next up, Belgium. Who thinks it's going through?
Angus on his own. I absolutely do. I think between first and second rehearsals, this improved massively. We forget that this is from the same songwriter as City Lights, who the juries absolutely loved. This kind of cool, artistic electro music is exactly the kind of thing professional juries look for and vote for. And also, Elliot is doing all the right things to appeal to the televote. Again, teenage girl demographic. He's cute, he's handsome, he smiles, he has his little hand raised. He's like loosened up a bit. He's very appealing to vote for. I think it's one of the most chart-ready songs that we have in this year's selection, and I do think the staging is incredibly effective. I think Belgium is going through tomorrow night, and clearly I am in a minority of one on this panel.
I love Elliot. I love his team. I just think this song doesn't have a climax. City Lights also progressed in a linear fashion, but it had an emotional climax, and there was a story there. This, I don't know, it just doesn't have that wow moment that you need at Eurovision. And I think in this particular field, there are a lot of songs that do have a wow moment.
Yeah, I think you compare it with City Lights, Blanche's fragility, and then the fact that she kind of became more confident as the song went on. That was the selling point. Elliot is a great leading man.
Wonderful.
A really, really talented singer. I just feel like the staging doesn't lend itself to helping it along with the moment. He connects really well. And here's another one. I would like to see him qualify. I just have 10 or 11 songs ahead of him, unfortunately.
So I'm going to compare Belgium's song this year to another song from last year. This just has a very 2018 Iceland Ari Olafsson feel. Very sweet, but I just don't think it's enough to go through.
Look, this ain't sweet like Ari Olafsson. This song has some edge. It's not dark art pop, but it's got a darker edge than Mr. Sunlight Ari Olafsson, who I love, by the way. It's just that song was not necessarily well suited to making the final.
Can I just say I love the fact that Suzanne is now making past Eurovision references. One of us.
I want to be one of them.
All right, we move on. Next up, Georgia, Ado Nemsadze, Keep on Going. Who thinks it's going to the final? Okay.
No.
Okay, you know what?
Can't
Listen, I actually do think this is going to the final, but I didn't put it on my initial list, so I'm going to have to argue the opposite. In any case, Suzanne, why do you think it's going through?
How many are on your list? You have 9.
I had 11. No, I had 11 on my list, and this was one of them. But
you're not allowed to have 11.
I know, because the semifinal is so hard. Anyways, just tell me why you think Otto's going through.
So I thought this staging was absolutely, positively fantastic. I love the mountains in the background. I love the barbed wire that goes along with the song. It was just very dramatic, and he has such a dramatic voice, if you will. Loved this performance.
Absolutely. I mean, I do not like the song. I do not like the vocal. I find the staging really aggressive and off-putting, actually. There's barbed wire in the sky. However, I can't deny it's an arresting package despite not liking it myself. So I couldn't rule it out because I think visually it's really compelling. Even if for me it's for all the wrong reasons, it stands out in the crowd, and I can feasibly see this qualifying, so I couldn't leave it out on that basis.
I think, I worry that maybe it's like The Humans last year from Romania, where we saw, oh wow, the staging's really good, but we were kind of comparing it from where it was to where it became. But at the same time, I think this is really, really strong. It does aggression, but he does it right. It's really, really powerful. Otto is vocally one of the best. Yes, he might not be the kind of vocals that everybody likes, but you cannot deny that he is a very good singer, and juries are going to respect that. It has an ethnic passion to it, which really, really helps. Yeah, really strong.
It's somehow weirdly inspiring. Barbed wire in the sky. I can fly twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Anyways, that's an American. Y'all didn't watch that as kids. I'm from America. You know what I'm talking about, girl. LeVar Burton. That show was on point. In any case, all of this to say is I love Otto Nimsadze. He don't blink. When he sings, he's so intense he does not blink.
Gonna burst a blood vessel with that one.
It's just amazing. Look, long story short, I love this now. I hated it before I got here, but he's telling a story. Very musical theater, very dramatic, very memorable. This is perhaps the most memorable staging in this semifinal, actually. It's all done with graphics. Ain't no exploding nothing. Oh, no, they do have fire, actually. What am I talking about? It's very Game of Thrones in Tel Aviv. I think it is going through. It's not on my list, sadly, but I think it's going through. In any case.
A minute ago you said it was on your list.
Listen, I can't decide. Long story short, I can't decide between this or San Marino. I made a long list, and I want both of them in. And I'm not gonna kill one of my darlings, so I'm cheating. I have 11. All right, next. Who's next?
Next is Estonia.
Oh man, I love this too.
I
Who
know.
thinks it's going through?
Oh. Defend your case.
I just love this song. It almost has a country song feel. Victor is someone who's easy to connect to. He has the most subtle hand motions. Watching it, I feel like I'm almost in a scene of A Star Is Born. Except I'm really sad that the blonde lady disappeared from the original video. I really, really like this song. That's all.
I do like the song, he sings it well, but I think before we came here there was a lot of talk about, is it going to appeal because it's a more conservative choice amongst a kinky band from Iceland, a woman on a pogo stick from Australia, and people will be put off by the crazy, or will the crazy win? And I think, sadly, on the eve of jury rehearsal, it feels like the crazy has won, or at least the momentum is there. Estonia's also had a lot of technical problems getting the effect right. We saw it in the first dress rehearsal today, but it's not as effective as at Istilal. And I just think without a killer storm screen, I can't see this going through to the grand final.
You know what? I love Victor. I love his look. I love his voice. I love his song. He's perfect. He's amazing. The issue I've had repeatedly is in rehearsals, the technical crew, producers, whoever is like actually broadcasting this, doing the camera cuts, it ain't working. It's just not coming together. The storm, finally, some version of a storm appeared in today's afternoon rehearsal, but there were other weird shots. Like, his guitar is meant to magically disappear, but you saw him handing it to someone on the cameras because they didn't crop it correctly. I'm really concerned about what's around him, not with him, and because of that, I have placed him out of the semifinal, or rather, out of the final. But if everything goes as it should, as the Estonian team wants, then I think it will go to the final.
Yeah, this is one of the technically most complex performances, even though it, in a way, is one of the more simple ones. It's just a man there singing. But yeah, I think that is also why I can't put it through, because it just takes one little thing in amongst a lot of very complex things to go wrong. And pretty much every single time it has so far. And I kind of have to assume that it's going to happen again in the semi-final or in the jury final, and that is going to cost him points. I really like Victor. I really, really like Storm as a song, but I can't.
Next up is Portugal. This is the amazing Conan Osiris and his dancer João. I'll be your naughty dancer, dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. In any case, I need some coins, y'all. There's a hat right here. Throw them in. Okay, who thinks Portugal's going through? Oh, no. Okay, Chris.
Have you now got 13 on
know,
your list? This is another one that has been beset by problems whilst we're here. This today, the lighting was finally better, and the Portuguese delegation have been like, well, they've actually fixed some of the things that we were asking them to fix. Conan is so good.
So good.
João is so good. I love this song, and against all my better judgment, which is now kind of telling me it's not making it through, and yes, this is a prediction, not a personal choice, but I can't not put it through. I want Telemovation in the final, and I really, really hope it makes it.
Now look, at Festival da Canção, I absolutely loved this. It was amazing. But here in Tel Aviv, I just think the local production team has let Portugal down. For instance, the opening shot, ding, 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 that should be 3 different, frenetic cuts, really fast-paced, like at Festival da Canção. Here, in the first rehearsal, it was a smooth cut, although it didn't make any sense. Basically, I don't think Portugal's vision has been executed. If they had executed Portugal's vision as Portugal wanted it, I think this would be a deadlock for the final. But sadly, and not because of Conan, not because of Joao, not because of the team, it's not as certain. Things are very fluid. It was looking better this afternoon. It really was starting to look more like the show, and tomorrow in the semi-final televote show, they actually execute Portugal's vision, and then this will go through.
My problem with Portugal is that I did not like this at Festival de Canção, and when it got to Eurovision, I was really hoping the staging would translate the narrative of the song, and that just hasn't happened. I don't know if that's down to the delegation or production, but I just feel like it will come across to audiences that don't know the message of the song as a random series of events that just doesn't quite work together. On top of which, they have obviously had problems in Israel with not realising their vision, not communicating on it, and I just think, like, it's just very off-putting. I think, like, if I'm watching this, in a way I can't look away, but not necessarily for a good reason. It's more that I'm trying to puzzle out what is going on, and I just don't think that's going to motivate people at home to go and vote for Portugal.
I initially really liked this song. I loved the interpretive dance. We have Christmas in December. You hear about Christmas in July. Christmas does not happen in May. And the whole red-green effect is not working for me.
All right, finally closing out the show, a fan favorite, Sarahott San Marino.
Na 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 na.
I was trying to do it in the rhythm of the beat, y'all.
Okay.
Listen, who thinks it's going through? Oh my God, Chris, you break my heart. Look, I don't know if this is me saying I want it to go through or me saying it will go through. This was on the bubble for me. I want it to go through. That's 100% certain. And it is closing the show, which gives me the confidence to say it is going through. I just think it's so likable and so happy and so upbeat, and all of them can sing. All of the backing vocalists are incredibly competent. Sarahott has so much charisma. He looks like a gorgeous, high-end, expensive waiter. I love that. Serve me sashimi. Serve me veal cutlets. I would eat all of it. There's something about that. It's just so, so likable and happy. And going into the voting, you will be humming na 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 na. There, we're doing it right now.
So, I'm sticking to my guns of the scores we put in this morning about them, but having seen the actual first dress rehearsal tonight, I might perhaps be adjusting my qualifiers. But I will say, this is fun, this is infectious, it is a party closer. Vocally, there are some problems that I do not think the jury are going to go for. However, I think this does have undeniable appeal and the fun factor to it.
So positive, so upbeat, so much fun! Rainbows and dreams and let me lift you up, and we do need a unicorn, but I guess I can live without the unicorn. It's just a lot of fun. It's closing the first semifinal, and I really want to see this one go through. Yes, what else? Am I supposed to say something else?
I'm so sorry, I just blanked. Oh, is she?
No, the spreadsheet says Angus isn't putting it through, which is why I'm a little confused. You may have
changed it to Georgia.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm not the only one who has cheated in this qualification video.
Cheers, cheers.
Boy, you...
This is why your telemovation is important sometimes, people.
Yeah. Well, so if you had to choose San Marino or Georgia, who would it be? Because I literally did the same thing. This is so funny. It's the exact same scenario.
But I would plump for Georgia over San Marino.
Visually, I think Georgia is the best in this semifinal. And I think a lot of televoters are swayed by visuals.
Visually, I think Serbia is better than Georgia, but re San Marino.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna put Georgia down there too.
But re San Marino, the thing is just vocally. I watched the dress rehearsal this afternoon, and at points Sarahott was not singing. His backing vocalists were.
That's fine. It's okay. Hello.
However, when professional jurors are watching tonight, you have to be able to sing and hit the notes and deliver.
Can I just say something about professional jurors? If you look at that list, what counts as a music professional is very, very different by country. Sometimes, in some instances, they're literally just PR professionals. And yes, they're PR professionals in music, but then you also got people who maybe can't even sing, but they sang at Eurovision, so they're on the jury as well. It's a very wide, I think ultimately the professional jury is like all of us, all of you. It's just some of them have titles that reflect music.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for it to go through because it is a fun, infectious moment, but I just think vocally it is a little bit exposed at times, and I think the juries is what it's going to let it down, because televote, I'm sure it can do real well, but I think professional juries wise, some questions.
I would really like it to go through. I was initially part of the Sarahott for Saturday movement, it felt like, but yeah, I just don't think that the staging lives up to the fun, colourful, out there potential that the video had.
Yeah.
It is colourful, but I just don't think it's colourful enough. I think that they've made it very literal, but if you're making it literal, when he sings rainbow, make a rainbow appear. Don't make it just be pink and yellowy gold.
It can't be too literal, Chris. I mean, it opens up with those fun disco dancers. It's got neon lights everywhere. The cute little boys dancing next to him. There's that cute little bicep moment. I mean, come on.
When you vomit, do rainbows come out?
Sometimes.
I vomit like a unicorn. All the colors come out.
In any case, Sarahott,
You gotta
boy, you.
seize the moment. Seize the moment.
Oh my lord! I don't know what planet
We're delirious.
Okay. Listen, boy, you should know that I got you on my mind. Your secret admirer. I've been watching you. Sarahott, I dream of you. I want to be your voter, baby. If your game is on, give me a call, boo. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Are you living for our qualifiers? Who are your 10 qualifiers? And who are the precious darlings who are going home? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Don't forget to tune in to our live stream.
If you're in violent agreement or violent disagreement, let us know in the comments below. We love to hear from you.
I'm not certain what is going on anymore, but I'll probably remember on my social media and all of our social media, which are in the description box below.
And if you want a new way to use your social media, visit MyHeritage. Take the DNA test. You'll get your results, and you can share them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want. We'll see you later. Bye!